I don't know what to say to you other than it's not easy. It isn't. It isn't easy, and it isn't. Uh, fuck. Here's the deal. I'm going to rant a little bit about this, and it's why I'm recording this video off app, and I'm going to upload as much as I can to TikTok, and then the rest of it, the entirety of it, is going to be on my YouTube channel. So click the link in my bio to go to my YouTube channel. No, it's not easy. It's not an easy feeling to not only experience, but begin to realize as it's happening in real time. For myself, if I could, for a moment, if I could just tell you a little bit about my realization process and how it hit me. You see, when you're a kid or a young adult, a kid being a young child, a teenager, a young adult, something of that nature, one of the things that you don't realize, or you do realize, and it's just not forefront in your mind because it's not something you're dealing with on the daily, is that your your grandparents are the next in line to die. Your grandparents are the ones that are dealing with the end of life issues. They're dealing with the myriad of medical issues. They're dealing with the doctor's appointments. They're dealing with the medical bills. They're dealing with how to keep things afloat in their golden years and how to line things up for their eventual passing. And they're facing their own mortality, and they're beginning to look at things that they never really had to look at before, right? Your grandparents. And one of the reasons why you don't really see this, one of the reasons why you don't really zone in on this, why it doesn't really register with you, in my opinion anyway, is because your parents are the ones handling it. There's sort of a family tree line of succession, if you will. So your parents are the ones that are going to doctor's appointment with your grandparents. Your parents are the ones that are dealing with the different medications and the pharmacies and trying to get the best price and helping them maybe set up funeral expenses and arrangements, or helping them deal with their banks and their insurance companies. There is a myriad of shit that goes into helping an elderly person in your family deal with all of the crap that's thrown at you and that you have to deal with as you approach end of life. And your parents deal with that. And your parents act as this buffer between you and the reality that we're all going to eventually face. So I really didn't zone in on it when it was my grandparents. I'm sure I was, looking back at it, I was conscious of it, but I just didn't really zone in on it. And then your grandparents die, and everybody moves up a notch. Your parents become the next in line to die. You, all of a sudden, become your parents. Now, I don't know if you have children. I'm speaking specifically to this young lady on TikTok. I don't know if you have children. I'm not asking you if you have children, but I have 3 children. So when the realization hit me that I became my parents and it was now me that was dealing with all of the shit that my parents had to go through, I then turned around and looked at my kids and realized that my kids were soon going to become what I was in the moment. Now, mine is a little bit different than yours, presumably. I'm assuming on the little bit of information I have from you, you had a mother, you had a father, you lost your mother and father, and now you have no parents. I had a mother and I had a father, but my mother was a rancid bitch. Just pure fucking evil from the bowels of hell. And I don't even believe in hell. Anyway, didn't really have a relationship with my mother, but my father remarried a couple of times. And my last stepmother, Josephine, was like a mother to me for years. Certainly the only grandmother my kids ever really knew. They knew my mother for a period of time, and they referred to her as Nani, and they did things to her with her for a period of time until my brother had kids, and then my mother, in typical rancid cunt fashion, had no more use for my kids and tossed them aside. So I had to dealing with my father and my stepmother, and then eventually hearing the news that my mother passed. So I lost my stepmother, who I viewed as a mother. 4 years later, I lost my father. 3 years later, I lost my birth mother. And so once they were all gone, and I truly had no parents anymore, I found myself sitting there with a new realization that hit me. And that was that I'm next in line to die. I'm the next up. I'm in the queue. Which means my kids have now moved into that next spot, right? My kids are now the ones that have to deal with my end of life shit. We're going to do a video on end of life care here in a minute. Actually, no, we're not going to do a video. I'm going to talk about it in the podcast when I go back inside and record the podcast. So we'll deal with it on that level. But I'm the one that's in the queue now. I'm the one that's going to the doctor's appointment. My wife and I'm looking at it from a personal standpoint. That's going to the doctor's appointment. That's dealing with the end of life ailments. That's dealing with aging and trying to get things to the point where they're ready for my eventual passing. And it's my kids who are going to have to deal with the brunt of it. It is that parental line of succession that no matter what we do, no matter how hard we try, it continues to move along. That parental line of succession just continues to move through time, and you can't stop it. So I understand what you're going through. I do. You're sitting there looking around for the first time in your life and realizing, holy shit, they're all gone. Grandparents are gone. Your parents are gone. And you're kind of just sitting in that chair waiting. It's a shitty feeling. It's a real shitty feeling to know that you can't ever turn to your parents again and just ask them a question. Just have a conversation with them. Have a meal. Do something. It can't happen again. So I'm sorry that you lost your dad. I'm sorry that realization is hitting you in the face. I'm sorry that you're dealing with that shit. Somebody that follows me on TikTok sent me your video. Somebody that follows me on TikTok and is one of... Oh, Jesus Christ. Get your shit together. Not you, me. Hang on a minute. Somebody on TikTok that is one of the many people on the app who has said to me something along the lines of, I'm gay and my parents have disowned me. Can you adopt me? I'm gay and my parents don't want anything to do with me and have kicked me out of the house. Can you virtually adopt me? Got to be honest with you on a side note. While fast food napkins are not the greatest for wiping your nose, boy, they come in handy when you need to. Or somebody that isn't gay and just said, my parents are, Trumpers and I'm a liberal. They don't want anything to do with me. Or my parents have passed and I don't have anybody. Can you virtually adopt me? Can you digitally adopt me? And all of the adoptions that I've told people that I would be part of is just racked up to the point where I believe I have about 30,000 adoptive kids now, on top of the 3 kids that I have in real life. So, listen, I don't know you, you don't know me, but consider yourself part of the family now, okay? Consider yourself virtually adopted, I guess, and welcome in. Because I don't know what else to do for you or to tell you or to offer you to make anything better other than to say this. My father has been gone for 6 years. My stepmother, who I, once again, viewed as my mother, has been gone for 10 years at the end of this month. And your life goes on. My life has gone on. Sometimes not the way you want it to go on. Sometimes, obviously, missing components of your life, but your life does go on. And there are people that are going to be around you that are going to help you. People that are going to be around you that are going to piss you off. And there are going to be people that are going to around you that are going to make you realize that life is too short for this shit. You know what I mean? You kind of put things into a different perspective, if you will. So welcome into the Powell clan. As I tell everybody that I virtually adopt, we don't have nearly enough towels, so you're going to need to bring your own fucking towel and be in charge of washing it. Smoking's out on the deck, if you don't mind, because my wife and I are ex-smokers. Well, at least ex-cigarette smokers. And we got you, we got you. So hang in there. There's nothing you can do but just hang in there. All right?